I sometimes think, what if all this was just a dream? Duke? I was just hoping to even get to your footing. I thought if I could just get a little closer, I would do anything. And I did everything I could. Fenric smiled lightly. Even now, even though everything has changed, sometimes I feel that this reality is just an illusion that I created myself out of my intense desire to be close to you. It can't be. But I think you have a hand in this illusion too. For me? And why? Because you take care of me, worry about me, show me kindness, and these are all things I thought I had no right to dream about. For a very long time. She didn't know how to respond. I thought a lot after hearing his honest confession. And I thought a lot. Her conclusion was always the same. The only way for her to survive is to hide from him the truth about her departure from this world and exploit him. But she wasn't sure she could do it, nor if she or he deserved it. So, if she couldn't take full advantage of him, wouldn't it be better to keep him away from her? But Presepe soon realized the truth. Some feelings, even if you decide to give them up hundreds of times, can't be ignored in the end. And that's exactly how I felt now. I always knew that your presence in my life was more than I could bear, and I knew that you didn't see me as anything. Yes, that may have been true in the past. She had forgotten the day they met in training, after everything she had been through. But now, things have changed. If Fenric was truly nothing to her, her heart wouldn't be so troubled right now. Maybe that's why I wanted to influence you in any way. Even when you didn't remember me. You must be upset that I alone forgot everything. You would hate me, if you were me. No, never. Fenric smiled weakly. But I couldn't get close to you, so I looked for another way. I realized that influence doesn't always require direct confrontation. Duke? Like that vase. He pointed his fingers to the vase next to the bed. I could have chosen a luxurious vase worthy of a palace, but I chose this one. A simple vase that is not at all suitable for a palace full of extravagance and arrogance. It was striking alone. Because I thought it was the best fit. When I first saw you, you were young, cute, and adorable. Do you hate flowers, Madame Presepe? A sentence he said to her when he came to the tower, staring at the vase, passed through her mind. If he knew who gave you this flower, he would be very happy. Very much. On the day she left the palace, she remembered his words when he saw her carrying the vase herself. Whoever gave you the vase hopes that it will always be full of flowers. Wherever you are. Even when it was enough to open the window to see the flowers blooming outside, he made sure to pick the flowers by hand and fill the vase with them. And just now. I understand. The flowers that were first placed in the vase, and those that Fenric himself had brought at the palace, were identical. Even the vase itself that was found in the villa was for the purpose of preserving memories, even if only. I did not feel resentment, nor hatred. Not once. But I was worried. At the beginning of her incarnation, when she left the concert hall and threw herself into the lake out of extreme pain. When she returned from the ice prison, she saw that vase and the flowers in it. How did she feel? How much did she cry then? How scary it was to be alone. How unbearable your loneliness was. All she did was stare at Fenric with violet eyes filled with tears, her lips tightly pressed together. Fenric said quietly, I didn't even have time to feel upset or angry. I was just busy worrying about you. She gave so much. And yet, she was the one who forgot every time, as if nothing had happened. She spent her life repeating the game, her goal being to finish the stories with all the male characters and leave. As for him, he kept fighting the same wars over and over again, just to get closer to them. However, he never felt upset, nor did he blame her once. Is this really possible? To love someone like this? He said in a calm voice, you told me before, that being in this palace comforts you. I don't know if you'll get what I mean, but I love this place. I have never felt as reassured as I do now, and that's exactly what I was hoping for all along. So, you can't imagine how happy it made me to hear those words. You never could. Fenric slowly extended his hand. Carefully, he pushed a messy strand of hair behind Presepe's ear, then met his eyes with hers. His red gaze was incredibly warm, and Presepe looked at herself reflected in his softly sparkling eyes. Madam Presepe, thank you for your care of my wounds, and for your sincere concern, but please, don't look at me with that look of regret. Fenric continued, still looking tenderly at her, because that's the last thing I want. I love you, Madam Presepe. So, whenever I see you with that look, I feel like my heart drops. Fenric was a strange person. Even if his injury was caused by her, he didn't want her to feel guilty. How could a human being say something like that? How could he love her like this, without asking for anything in return? He said as he took her hand and placed it on his wounded chest, these wounds will heal quickly. I've had much worse injuries, but I've recovered every time without exception. Don't worry, it's nothing serious. But, still, it's true that Hannah and Kevin sometimes make fun of me and say it's a special talent, but that's okay, I'm used to it. Then these wounds have a different value. Because I received them while trying to protect you, they are like a badge of honor for me. It'll leave a scar. Big too. Despite all his comforting words, Presepe couldn't shake her feelings of guilt. But Fenric, instead of frowning, smiled. My body is full of scars anyway. Does this mean that an extra scar means nothing? She looked at him with eyes shining with obvious guilt. But there is no scar more precious than this. So, even if it's big and obvious, it's totally fine with me. I got it because I wanted to protect the one I love, so how could I hate it? She just stared at him silently, full of emotions. Even if I told him everything. Even if she knew she shouldn't say it. Even if she expressed her desire to leave this world. Is it possible he could understand her? Could Duke Fenric be this human? Fenric looked at her with a slight surprise, but said nothing. There was a completely different look in her eyes. Not just worried. Rather, it is as if she is in the midst of a deep internal conflict. Because of this, Fenric didn't speak after that. Rather, he remained silent, waiting for her to begin speaking. Finally, after quite a while, she said in a low voice, looking at his white chest bandage, Duke, do you really love me? Then she added, even if I am, in fact, a completely different person than you know? Fenric narrowed his eyes slightly, her words seeming completely incomprehensible. Even if it is impossible for our relationship to last forever? Then, his facial features changed slightly, but he was not in her side at the time, so she did not notice it. She continued, even with all that, will your feelings remain the same?